From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. Our top stories this week. We have a look at a breakthrough in environmentally friendly public transport. We speak to Sasol about its power generation projects and aspirations. And the BG3 pipeline is expected to proceed. The first local ethanol-driven bus, which consumes 80 litres for every 100 kilometres travelled and produces only 125 grams of carbon dioxide for every kilometre, was tested during October. Petronel Smith reports.
Bus manufacturer Scania, fleet management company Mix Telematics, and Johannesburg's Metro Bus Company have been working closely to implement a reduction in carbon emissions in the city. Scania Sweden concept manager Stephen Claw explains the benefits of ethanol-driven buses compared with diesel buses.
Well, the bus that's standing here today, it produces 125 grams of carbon per litre that it consumes. A basic Euro 2 bus would consume about or produce about 1,480 grams, so it's 90% less.
Mix Telematics fleet management system further reduces the bus's carbon footprint with safe and correct use of the vehicle. Mix Telematics International Key Account Manager Mike Baker explains how this works.
With safe and correct usage of the vehicle, normally it becomes an economic situation where you start to achieve fuel savings. Obviously, as soon as you start to achieve fuel savings, you start to get a lower emissions from the vehicle themselves.
Metro Bus uses ethanol-driven buses in Johannesburg in an aim to reduce pollution in the city. Metro Bus Technical General Manager Dave Gregory believes that the ethanol fleet will impact significantly on the air quality of the city.
Well, look, we operate 500 buses in the city and manage the BRT. Now, if you look at the air in Joburg, it's not the cleanest in the world. It's got a lot of pollutants in it. So obviously we want to change that factor and change it as quick as possible. So our interest is actually mainly the reduction of pollution or emissions in the city.
Sasol will be producing 800 megawatts of its own electric power at its giant Secunda facility by the middle of next year, of which 200 megawatts is set aside for purchase by state-owned utility Eskom. Sasol's Piet van Staden and Leon Smit tell us more.
The Secunda facility uses about 1,300 megawatts, of which we generate roughly 500 megawatts depending on the steam situation. So the purchases from Eskom varies typically from 800 to 900 megawatts. This will now increase the internal generation at the end of the day by 280. So for the Synfield site, we will be more or less 50% self-sufficient.
The first phase, we call it the open cycle gas turbines. And we have commissioned both the gas turbines successfully during July. And they're presently in operation. And now we have started with the second phase, which we call the combined cycle or closed cycle, and which is also the HRSGs, the heat recovery steam generators. We are busy with that construction now, and hopefully it will be finished by June. That is the plan, June 11 next year, so that we can connect the open cycle with the combined cycle to generate additional steam to the equivalent of both machines, to equivalent of 82 megawatts.
We have a lot of exciting plans in terms of renewable energy, low carbon power generation, and increased energy efficiency. Even this facility at Synfields has a lot of potential to do heat integration, where you do more preheating and less cooling, and by capturing some of the intermediate streams, and you can convert some of that waste heat into power generation.
Civil engineering construction company Sasol Frankie is constructing the BG3 pipeline from the Vaal Dam to Zoekfontein control works for Rand Water. However, the project has faced several delays this year. Eleanor Segi reports.
Just how important is the 240 million rand 8.6 kilometre BG3 pipeline, and what is the status of construction on the 18th month project? Sasol Frankie Pipelines MD Dave Gibbons explains.
Over the last year, the demands Rand Water have come up with in feeding Joburg with water. The demand has increased by 43 million megalitres per year, which obviously the existing infrastructure is not capable of delivering, or won't be shortly. Hence the BG3 pipeline is quite critical to them. We kicked off in February, and due to few delays, that period was pushed out.
However, Gibbons expected the company to start laying pipes in late October this year.
Up to February now, I would imagine that we would have probably close to 0.5 kilometre of pipe in the ground if all goes well.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insight into South Africa's real economy.